everybody. In the previous video we had seen the introduction about light, and we had also known the different types of light, that is non-luminous and luminous light. In this video we will see about reflection, refraction, the laws with respect to refraction, and also we'll know the images and its types. So let's start with the video now. So what is reflection of light? We had already discussed in the first video. When light rays falls on an object, it falls back or reflects back. That is known as reflection of light. So you might have seen silver metal. It reflects more light and it's considered as the best reflectors. And you might be using mirrors for your makeups and also combing your hairs, etc. So you might be using the dressing tables in your home, which is fixed with the mirrors. These are all plain mirrors which have the best reflection of light. So because of the reflection of light or the rays that falls back on us, the image is formed on the mirrors. A ray of light is a straight line, in a straight line along with the light travelled, and bundle of light rays is called a beam of light. So a light ray that travels in a straight line and it scatters to form a bundle of rays is known as a beam of light. So what is reflection of light? It is the falling of light rays on an object, and this object surface reflects it back, as known as reflection of light. So we'll understand the laws of reflection. Here you can see in this figure that a plane mirror is taken and a ray of light is made to fall on the mirror. So the ray of light that falls on the mirror is known as the incident ray, and when this ray hits the plane mirror surface and it moves away from it, or the rays moves away, is known as reflected ray. So what does this means now? The laws of reflection state that the angle that is formed of incident ray and the reflected ray both are equal. So the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. And one more law which states that the incident ray, the light that falls on the mirror, the reflected ray, the light that is away from the mirror, and the normal. So the normal all lie on a same plane. So it lies in a same plane. So these are all applicable to all the reflecting surfaces. It also is applicable for the spherical surfaces too. Spherical surfaces, like you might have seen the mirrors that is used in the car and also buses, etc. So laws of reflection of light says that incident ray and angle of reflection is equal. So angle of incident and angle of reflection are equal, and the normal ray, incident ray and angle of reflection all lie in the same plane. So we see that the light from this candle is the incident ray, and it hits the mirror, that is plane mirror, and an image is formed beyond it, that is an imaginary image, and this, when we look at that, we can see that the image is erect. So that's how we are able to see our image as erect, because the ray reflects back and the image becomes erect, and we can see ourselves as how we are standing. So you can see that we are standing in front of a mirror, and the light that travels through, we are able to see that hits and reflects back. It forms an imaginary image line that is beyond this mirror surface, which is opaque, and you can see our own mirror image because it's not transparent. The light doesn't pass across the mirror. So here you can see the image is same size. You might have observed in a plane mirror that exactly as you look, there is no difference in the image that is formed in the mirror. The image is formed at the same distance from the mirror as the object is in front of it. That as an object like us, we stand in front of it, and the distance that we see with the mirror is also the same. So image is virtual. So virtual means as we are, it shows as it is by reflecting. But it cannot be obtained on a screen. So we cannot observe that particular image that is formed on the mirror on a screen. So image is laterally inverted. So you can see the image is laterally inverted. So next, coming to real and virtual images. So image is formed. How an image is formed? It is formed when light rays coming from an object. So light rays coming from an object meet at a point after reflection from a mirror. So a light, that is reference wave, it's saying here, it hits the mirror and it reflects. It reflects in various parts, and this light that reflects from a mirror and meet at a point with respect to the object, it is known as the image. The image is formed by refraction from the lens or mirror. So virtual image is the image as we are, and real image is the inverted image, that is, it's beyond the mirror that goes. So let's see now the types of images. There are two different types of images, that is real image and a virtual image. So real image is what? Is the light that reflects back with respect to reference wave, and it is crossed beyond a mirror or a hologram. You can see a hologram. When the light passes through the hologram, the same image is formed here on the screen. So you can see real image is formed when rays of light meet at a point. So the ray of light, they meet at a point after reflection or refraction is known as real image. Then what is virtual image? So virtual image is what we see in our mirror, the plane mirror. So the image formed when rays of light appear to meet. These rays, they appear to meet and they diverge at a point. They do not converge, they diverge at a point, and you can see a virtual image, that is your own image you are able to see in the mirror as it is. So it is known as virtual image. So let's understand the characteristics of images that is formed by the mirrors. So you can see that images that is formed from an object with respect to the mirror. So when an object we see in a mirror or ourselves in a mirror, it is always virtual and erect. Erect means as we are standing upright, the same way the image is formed. The size of the image also remains the same with respect to the object size, and it is image is laterally inverted. Means you might be thinking that the inverted image, we should see ourselves as inverted, but it doesn't happen because the light rays do not pass through, but it reflects back and it forms an image in the mirror. The images formed by a plane mirror are far behind the mirror as the object. So it's far behind the mirror and it forms an object image in front of the mirror. So that's why we are able to see ourselves as we are. So next, coming to spherical mirrors. You might have seen lot of mirrors like dome shaped mirror, or these are known as spherical mirrors that might have a bent from inside or outside. So a bent from inside is known as, such as this mirror, it is known as concave mirror. And a bent from outside, when you look at this mirror that is bent from outside, it is known as convex mirrors. But concave and convex mirrors both are spherical mirrors. So what do you mean by spherical mirrors? The reflecting surface of a spherical mirror may be curved. That is, as I told, they might be curved from inside. So this is curved from inside, or it can be curved from outwards also. So we will see about what is a concave mirror. So here you can see that the mirror is curved from inside and outside, that is the other side of the mirror is coated with silver coating is done, and you can see a ray of light is passing. So what happens, it doesn't pass beyond the mirror surface because here there is a silver coating. So in a concave mirror, reflection of light takes place at concave surface. So here when it hits this surface, this is concave surface, when it hits and it reflects back. So what happens in convex mirror? So in a convex mirror you can see there as a dome shaped surface. Here also there is a silver coating behind. So what happens? The reflection of light of the surface or bent out surface takes place here. It hits to the surface and reflection takes place on the convex surface of the mirror. So we'll understand certain terms that will be used in the ray diagrams of mirrors, that is concave and convex mirrors. So to understand that, we should know certain terms with respect to the spherical mirror. So first term we will see center of curvature. It is the center of the sphere. If you draw a circle, that is sphere, at center of the sphere of which the mirror is part C. So it is center of curvature of any sphere of a mirror is known as center of curvature. So what is radius of curvature? It is of the sphere in which mirror is a part. Center point, that is from the center point to the one end of the sphere is known as radius of curvature. Let's understand what is pole. It is the center of the spherical mirror. So point is located at the center of the spherical mirror. Then what is principal axis? It is a straight line passing through the center of curvature and the pole. So it is a point that is passing, straight line passing through center of curvature, that is center of the sphere of the mirror, and the pole. Pole is the center of the spherical mirror. So let's see now the principal focus. So what do you mean by principal focus? In a concave mirror, so concave mirror, rays of light is parallel to the principal axis after reflection. So the ray of light, as it comes and hits back, it becomes parallel to the ray of light that hit the mirror. What happens in the convex mirror? The ray of light to the principal axis gets diverged. So it is going to diverge from the point of reflection. So it appears to come from a point on principal axis behind the mirror. So principal focus is formed behind the mirror. This point of principal axis is known as principal focus. So what is focal length? It is the distance between the pole and the principal focus. So principal focus is given as F, it's denoted as F. In a spherical mirror, the radius of curvature is twice the focal length. So radius of the curvature of a spherical mirror, you can see is represented as 2F. Then what is F? F is R by 2. So as I told that in a concave mirror, the light rays pass through, that is, in any reflection that happens, it converges at a particular point F, that is focal point. So C is known as the center of curvature. So this is C. C is the center of curvature. P is represented as the pole. Pole is the center of the spherical mirror. F is the principal focal point. CP is the radius, and XY is represented as the principal focus, and PF, that is point from where it gets reflected and it reaches where the converging rays are found. It is known as the focal length. So what happens in a concave mirror and a convex mirror? So let's start with it. So in a concave mirror, a light or ray of light parallel to the principal axis. So a ray of light. So this is the principal axis, and so in a concave mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection passes through the focus. You can see that this is the center of curvature, focal point, and here you can see that a ray of light passing through, it passes through the focus. So what happens in a convex mirror? A ray of light, so here you can see that here it is the pole, the focal point, and the center of curvature. That is, you can see that a ray of light to the principal axis after reflection, it gets diverged. So you can see that the ray that hits to the mirror, it's getting diverged, and you have an imaginary line that passes through the focus, because this is an opaque object, and you can see that here is the mirror for the convex. So you can see that the parallel line that is formed parallel to the principal axis, when it hits the mirror, it gets diverged. So this, beyond it, for your understanding, you are drawing this line that passes through the focus. So next we will see that in a concave mirror, what happens in a concave mirror? This is a concave mirror. So you can see that a light passing through the center of curvature. So again I'll say that this is the pole, that is the center of the mirror, spherical mirror. So pole, focal point, and the center of curvature. So here you can see that light passing through the center of curvature. So light, you are making light to pass through the center of curvature. After reflection is reflected back. So light that travels through the center of curvature hits the mirror, and it reflects back along the center of curvature in the same direction itself. But what happens in the convex mirror? So convex mirror, this is the convex mirror. You can see this is the pole, this focal point, and the center of curvature. The same method where you have passed light through the center of curvature, you will be passing the light through the center of curvature itself. So what happens after reflection? It is reflected back along the same direction. So here you can see that both reflects back in the same direction, but this is beyond the imaginary line. That is, you need to draw an imaginary line through the C, that is colored in the pink. So in the next case we will see that, so we had already spoken about angle of incidence and angle of reflection is same. So in a concave mirror or a convex mirror, a ray of light directed through the pole. So this is the third case. That is, first case we had passed it through the focal length, focus. Next we had passed the ray of light through the center of curvature. Then we are passing it, reflecting it through the pole. So there are these 3 points you need to keep in your mind, that there are only 3 cases. Either it might be concave or convex. The light ray will pass either through the pole, then what is the condition, then through the focal point, then what is the condition, then through the curvature. So these are the 3 things you should always keep in mind, that what will happen when the light passes through these 3 points. Either it might be concave or convex. So now we are going to pass the light through the pole. So what happens is, the pole is reflected obliquely, making equal angles. So we had already spoken, they make equal angles. That is, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So what happens in the convex mirror now? So this is again imaginary line, that is, here it's opaque. So you can see that light rays passing through the pole, it reflects back and it makes an equal angle, that is, angle of incidence equals to angle of reflection. And here you can see the focal point and the center of curvature is beyond the mirror. So now let's understand the images formed by concave mirror. So images formed, we will take the conditions here. So when the object is at infinity, infinity means you can keep the object anywhere, there's point, infinite place, the image is formed at the focus. So when, see this parallel lines, the rays formed from the object, you can see that the rays image is formed at the object. The object, you can see here, it is placed at infinity. So you cannot see the object, it is beyond. So you can see that the light rays passing through from the object, the image is formed at the focus. So highly diminished, you are not able to see it, it is highly diminished and real, and it is inverted. So inverted means the image will be upside down. So next condition, when object placed beyond C. So you can see that this is pole, focal point and center of curvature. Beyond C means behind C you are going to make the object to be placed, and you can see that light travels. What happens now? The image is formed between C and F. So what happens? You draw an imaginary line, that is, there is 3 cases that light rays can pass through. So one is through the center of curvature, the other is through the focal point. So what happens here? You draw a straight line that hits the mirror and it reflects through the focus. The other one, the light passes through the center of curvature. You can see there is a point meeting here, and this is the image, that is AB is the image, A dash, B dash is the image, and the image is inverted. So it is real, inverted, and the image is smaller with respect to the object, and it is formed where? The image is formed between C and F. So next case, coming to the next case, you can see that object when it is placed at C. So you need to draw the line here, and you need to draw the mirror, that is concave mirror, and you have marked it at an equal distance, that is pole, focal point and center of curvature, and they are given the condition when, what happens when an object is placed at C. So object is placed straight at C. So I have already told that there might be 2 rays that needs to be passed through. So you can take any point. So one will be through the focal point, then one will be through the center of curvature, or through the pole you can pass through. So here what happens? The ray strikes the mirror and reflects through the focal point. Here also you can see that when the ray directly passes through the focal, it reflects back, and you can see that here the object is formed where the two lines meet. That is very simple here. Here the two lines meet and you have got an inverted image, but it is at the same point where the object is placed. But here the object is real and inverted. So let's come to the next position. So what happens when an object is placed between C and F? In the same way, you will draw a straight line with same distance. You will draw a concave mirror, a point, that is pole, focal length, focal point and center of curvature. Pole, focal point, center of curvature. They have asked us to place the object between C and F. So you have see, this is the line, that is you have placed an object between C and F. So again there is two conditions, that you can pass through two different points, that is you can pass the light through focal point, and also see, you can see that one through the pole. So one through the pole, it goes directly, hits to the mirror and it reflects through the focal point, and the other ray you are directly passing through the focus, and you can see that through the focus it should hit the mirror and it should go parallel. So what is happening here? This image formed is beyond C and beyond the actual object. You can see when this image formed is beyond the actual object, it is again real. When an object is inverted, it is called as real, and it is big, larger in size with respect to the object. So next we will see what happens when an object is placed at F. So the same way you will draw a line and also draw this concave mirror. You will place the point, that is pole, focal point and center of curvature at the same distance. You will mark the same distance. They have asked us to place the object at F. So we are going to place the object at F. So again two light rays should pass through. So one is getting reflected, that one from the object goes and hits at the mirror and it passes through the focal point. The other, it should pass through the center of curvature. So what happens here is you need to draw an imaginary line from the object to the mirror. It hits and it reflects back through the center of curvature. So what happens here is you get a real inverted image, and it formed at infinity. See here, there is no meeting of the two lines. It forms an image. You need to imagine that it is formed at infinity, that is beyond the actual point focus, and you can see that the image, when it is formed beyond at infinity, the image will be much larger than the object. So next case is we need to place an object between the pole and the focal point. Again you need to draw a mirror here, concave mirror. So you can see concave mirror is having bent, the mirror is inside. So what happens here, object is placed between P and F, that is O is representing the object, and you have drawn an object here. So what happens here, this should go and first ray hits the mirror and it passes through the focal point. The same 3 points you should draw, that is pole is exactly at the middle of the mirror. Then at this distance of pole and focus should be like you say 1 centimeter away. Then focal point and the curvature should be 1 centimeter distance. So you can see that in between this ray should pass. See, one should pass through the focus, one should pass through the center of curvature, as I told. The third case we will not be taking because angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So you can see here that the ray reflected passes through the focal. The next ray it hits and gets diverged and passes through the center of curvature. Again you can see that here this light goes beyond the mirror, and you need to draw an imaginary line that converts, that is, there is a image that is going to form beyond the mirror, and this point, where is it meeting here? It is meeting here. You draw an imaginary line beyond the mirror, and there is an image formed which is larger than the object, and this one, which is not inverted, is known as virtual, erect and magnified image that is formed behind the mirror. So next, till now we have seen the cases with respect to concave mirror. Now we will go with the convex mirror. So you can see that here the mirror is bent outside. So again the first case wherein at infinity an object is placed and there is a parallel lines, that is a ray of light that is going to hit the mirror. So what happens here? An image is formed. See, you can see here pole is at the mirror and behind the mirror is your focal point and center of curvature for all the convex mirror. So with that perspective only you need to make your ray diagrams. So you can see that imaginary, what is getting reflected, you will draw an imaginary line that passes through the focal point, and you can see that the image is highly diminished, virtual and erect. So next is when an object is between infinity and pole. So when an object is placed at infinity and pole, so you can see here the image is formed again behind the mirror. It is diminished, virtual and erect. So you can see that a ray passes through here, it gets diverged. This diverged rays you will make an imaginary line through the focal point. One you will make it as it is passing through the center of curvature. You can see that the 2 points meet here, and what is happening here? The image formed is smaller than the object, and you can see that this is virtual image and it is smaller. Smaller means diminished. So next we will see about the uses of spherical mirrors. So what are the uses of concave mirrors? Concave mirrors are bent from inside. You can see that they are used in torches, see, searchlights, headlights of vehicles. So they are used in shaving mirrors also, and dentists use the concave mirrors to see the enlarged sizes of the teeth or images of the teeth. So you can see large concave mirrors are used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat, solar surfaces or furnaces. So if you have concave mirrors, you can see that when you point focus it on a paper, and with the help of sunlight you can see that particular point gets burnt because the concentration of the sunlight is captured through that particular mirror. So next is convex mirrors. So convex mirrors you might have seen in the rear view mirrors in the vehicles. You can see in the vehicles, the carway, you can see the mirrors here. They give erect, that is straight, diminished images of objects so that you can see from what is the view from the behind. So they also have wider view, that is plane mirrors give a very small view, but this gives a wider view. You can see the whole range of area within. So let's understand now the Cartesian sign convention. This is important to keep in mind for spherical mirrors. This helps you out with solving the problems in the chapter. You can see here again there is a plane, that is plane which you can see hits the surface of the mirror, and you have the pole is at the middle of the mirror. From there you have the focal point, then the center of curvature. So here what happens is direction of light is towards the mirror. So when direction of light is towards the mirror, then you need to take the sign as positive. So you can see the object is erect, the sign is taken positive. So when the light is towards or away from the mirror, you need to take the sign as negative. And when the object or image formed is inverted, the sign is taken as negative. But what happens when the image goes behind the mirror? Here also the sign is taken as positive. So all distances measured to right of the pole are taken as positive towards your right. So all the distances what is towards your right are taken as positive. All the distances towards your left are taken as negative. Keep in your mind, everything that is distance measured towards your right of the pole will be taken as positive. Right of the pole is the side, so it will be taken as positive. Towards the left it will be taken as negative. The height measured upwards to the principal axis will be taken as positive. Height measured downwards perpendicular to the principal axis will be taken as negative. So let's understand the mirror formula. This is very important to keep in your mind. So mirror formula is very important for the numericals or the problems that you will be solving. So mirror formula for spherical mirrors is, what is it? Actually it is the relationship between the object distance. The object is represented as u, object distance where you keep the object, and where the image is formed, that is the distance from the object to the image, that is v. Image is represented as v, and the focal length, the length that represents with the focal point of the light ray that passes through. So it can be expressed as 1 by v. So 1 by v plus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. So magnification for spherical mirrors, it can be represented as, it is the ratio of height of the image to height of the object. Height of the image with respect to height of the object. So magnification is how much it is enlarged or the size is reduced, is represented by height of the image by height of the object. So object is what we keep it, that you will be keeping as a denominator, and the image formed value will be as the numerator. So magnification is represented as m. M is equal to h1, that is I, that is for image, h2o for object. So magnification can also be represented as height of the image, that is we have already spoken about the image distance, that is v, and object distance u. So hi by ho can also be written as v by u. Image, for image we represent as v, object as u. So hope you all have understood this part of the video. The next we'll continue with the lens formula, lens magnification, Cartesian signs, etc. Thanks for watching, and continue watching to the next set of videos to know more.